Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the class of 12th English Medium. The subject is Statistics, Part 2, Chapter 1, Probability, brought to you by Vitan Sir. In the previous tutorial, I completed the exercise 1.3, which was based on the law of addition. That video you can find on the top right corner of your screen. In this tutorial, I am going to explain three different concepts. The first one is the conditional probability. This concept will be the base for the next law which I will be teaching you guys. Now, what is conditional probability? Before that, let's see an example where we actually need to use the conditional probability. Let's assume that we are throwing two dice. A denotes getting number 1 on the first die and B denotes getting number 2 on the second die. Now, let's assume that we are calculating the probability. So we can easily calculate the favorable outcomes of where we get number 1 on the first die as well as the favorable outcomes of getting number 2 on the second die. And we can find the probability using the total outcomes. But what if we are asked to find that the first die shows number 1, that means the first die already is 1. Now find the probability that second die shows 2. That means there is a condition that the first is already 1. Now find the probability that second die will be 2. So for finding this kind of questions where one event is already there, which has already occurred, which has already happened as a condition, and then we are supposed to calculate the probability of occurrence of the second event. At that point of time, we need the conditional probability. Suppose U is a finite sample space where A and B are two events. If the occurrence of event B under the condition that A has already occurred is denoted by B slash A, we call it B given A, then the probability B given A is called conditional probability. That means when we have to find the occurrence of B when A has occurred, so we denote it as B given A, and the probability is called probability of B given A, we call it the conditional probability. Here B is supposed to be calculated and A is already given. That means the value at the top is to be found and value at the bottom is a condition, it is already given. The formula is B given A, that is PA intersection B divided by PA. That means the intersection of the two events divided by the event which is already given as a condition. That means the event which has already happened. So P, B given A is P A intersection B divided by PA. Similarly, if the occurrence of event A under the condition that B occurs is denoted by A given B, it's the opposite of the previous, then the probability P A given B is written as follows. It would be A given B is equal to A intersection B divided by B, because in this situation A is supposed to be found out and B is already given as a condition. So here the condition, the event which occurs is B and event which is to be calculated is A. Now the sums based on this concept is of course will be discussed in the later tutorials. In this tutorial I am only going to explain the concepts with their formulas and the definitions and all that. The next concept is independent events. Now this might be a new term for you guys, independent events. Let's see what is its meaning. Actually it's quite simple. Suppose U is a finite sample space where A and B are two events, and when the probability of occurrence of event A does not change due to the occurrence or non-occurrence of the event B, then A and B are said to be independent events. That means the happening or not happening of A is not at all concerned with the happening or not happening of event B. That means there is no connection between A and B. So it doesn't matter whether B happens or not. A will happen if A will happen. Happening or not happening of B does not change the course of action of A. Then A and B are said to be the independent events. In other words, A and B has no dependence on each other. They don't care about each other. They are not affected by each other. So we can call them the independent events. Now, if we think about the conditional events in the which I just explained you guys, in case of the conditional events, we were talking that the finding of probability of A when B happens, that was A given B, and finding of probability of B when A happens, that was B given A. So if we think about those conditional events in this light, it means that it doesn't matter whether A happens or not, the probability of B will not change. Similarly, it doesn't matter whether B happens or not, probability of A will not change. So I have explained those things as follows. PA is equal to PA given B, which is again equal to A given B dash. That means whether B happens or B does not happen, B happens is B, B does not happen is B dash. So whether B happens or B does not happen, A remains A. Similarly, whether A happens or A does not happen, B remains B. That means independent events are not affected by conditional probabilities. Now this is one of the most important concepts, because remember this concept, it will be very useful in this tutorial itself. Okay, so remember that independent events are not affected by the conditions. Remember this statement in your minds. Next, law of multiplication of probabilities. These previous two concepts, the conditional probabilities and the independent events, were the starting for the law of multiplication of probabilities, because both of those concepts are one of the most important topics to be added, or we can say the basis on which this law is created. You will understand it in a moment. Let's suppose U is a finite sample space where A and B are the two events. Then the rule of obtaining the probability of simultaneous occurrence of events A and B is called the law of multiplication of the probabilities. That means the law of multiplication of probability is the rule where the probabilities of the events A and B occur simultaneously. Does it ring a bell in you guys? Basically, law of multiplication of probability dictates or indicates intersection of events. Just like the law of addition indicated the union of events, law of multiplication indicates the intersection of two events, and intersection of two events are depicted as A intersection B. So probability of A intersection B is probability A multiplied by probability B given A. Now this is the law of multiplication of probabilities. So A intersection B, the formula for A intersection B is probability A multiplied by probability B given A, where A should not be 0. Now if you are wondering how I got this formula, just remember the formula for conditional probability. What was the formula? B given A is A intersection B upon A. Now just in your mental image, change the side of PA in the denominator to the opposite side numerator. What you will get? It will be A multiplied by B given A, which is equal to A intersection B. Now if you remember, there were two formulas for conditional probability. That means there are two methods of calculating A intersection B. The second is PB multiplied by PA given B, where PB must not be 0. Similarly, I got this formula from PA given B, which was A intersection B divided by B. So just change the side of the denominator PB to the opposite side and you will get the formula for A intersection B. So there are basically two formulas for calculating A intersection B, which are A into PB given A and PB into PA given B. Now these are the laws of multiplication of the two events A and B of a finite sample space U. This is the law of multiplication, a very important law, because based on this many sums are done in the chapter of probability. Write them down properly in your notebooks. Next, I am going to start with some important results. These results are important with a viewpoint that we are going to use them directly without any proof here. If A and B are independent events, now the law of multiplication is combined with the independent events method. In independent events, we said that conditions does not apply. That means A given B is just A and B given A is just B. Remember those laws, because I will be adding them up in the law of multiplication. If B given A is just B, then A intersection B is just the multiplication of the two probabilities PA into PB. In case you are wondering what I just did here, just move back to the last slide, the law of multiplication. You will see A into B given A. Now if B is independent, B given A is just B. So A intersection B becomes A into B. You can apply the same law to the second law of multiplication, B into A given B, where A is independent. So A given B just stays A. So A intersection B is A multiplied by B if events are independent. Not all events are independent, so we can only apply this law if A and B are independent events. I will be explaining which events are independent, which are not, when the time comes in my later tutorials. A dash intersection B dash is multiplication of A dash and B dash. Again, these things are only for independent events. Similarly, A intersection B dash is A multiplied by B dash, and A dash intersection B is A dash multiplied by B. So these are some of the important results which you need to remember and write them down in your notebooks. Now the last topic of this tutorial, what is the meaning of selection with replacement? Now this is something which I have already explained in my 11th tutorials in the chapter of permutation, combination and binomial expansion. Selection with replacement, if the selection of a unit from the population in any trial is done by replacing the unit selected in the previous trial back to the population, then that selection is called selection with replacement. Now let me just explain it in a simpler terms. You have a sack full of 10 balls. You are selecting a ball from the sack. You select the ball, then put that selected ball back into the sack and then again select a new ball. That means you are replacing anything which you are selecting back into the sack. That is called selection with replacement. The second is selection without replacement. What's the meaning? If the selection of a unit from the population in any trial is done by not replacing the unit selected in the previous trial back to the population, then that selection is called selection without replacement. Taking the same example here, if there is a sack full of 10 balls, I am selecting a ball and then I am not putting it back in there, I am putting it aside. That means now in the sack there are only 9 balls. Then I am again selecting a ball, not putting it back there, putting it aside. Now there are only 8 balls in the sack. That means I am selecting new balls without replacing the old balls back into the sack. That is called selection without replacement. So selection with replacement, we select a unit and put it back. Selection without replacement, we select a unit and not put it back into the population. Okay, I hope you guys got these concepts properly. The conditional probability, the independent events, the law of multiplication of probability, selection with replacement and without replacement. These concepts I will be using in my later tutorial where I will be solving exercise 1.4. Stay tuned for the next video. Welcome students to With Answers Unacount Academy. That's better way to success for you. I am Vitan Vora and I teach accountancy, statistics and social science. You can contact me on my cell number 919426310184. Please give a sub to my channel and also check out my other video playlist which you can see on the screen. Thank you and I will see you in the next video.